how are they going to sell this? But they made some really wonderful adjustments. And as a credit to all of you as actors, you have taken not so good people and made me feel empathy for them. Not necessarily sympathy, but there are moments that you feel empathy for them. And that comes from good writing, good direction, and good performances. So I thank you for your talents. I thank you for your professionalism. And I definitely thank you for these performances, because all of you just have knocked it out of the park tremendously.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think that's the person you are, because I'm pretty
There's that moment. Oh yeah, they're not all, but it's like Maeve and
you have sympathy for Stormfront. You don't even have any sympathy.
No, your job was to make Homelander look not so bad.
Yeah.
mission accomplished.
Yeah, pretty much. Absolutely,
Mission
pretty much.
accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. So let me just throw it out there. What a show like this has a lot of challenges with the effects, costuming, makeup. Sometimes, what was the craziest day on the set for each of you that you can recall?
Oh, I'll start to see a gap. So craziest day, first of all, any day wearing that rubber suit spandex is pretty insane. Something weird is going to happen. Something's going to go wrong. But then one of the last days that Aya and I had shooting, we had to do a superhero flying sex scene, which was just, I've, over the course of like my youth, my young person career, I've done a bunch of sex scenes, but nothing quite like that. It was seriously bizarre. The good news is it was with Aya, who's just like a little treasure, and it was just so easy to do because she's so good and relaxed, and we were just laughing. We got told off for laughing too much. So that was one of the highlights actually of the show thus far.
I believe it. Also, kudos to whoever manages to keep that cape looking straight and crisp the whole time.
That would be Stephen Fleet and visual effects.
And Mr. Fleet, wherever you are, I lift my glass to you. That's good cape work, and which is not as easy as you may think.
No, absolutely. There's actually, your cape was pretty good though, right? Your cape was a well-behaved cape.
Yeah, it was just leather. But also, Anne hasn't said this, but he came up, if you notice, Homelander always sort of swoops the cape up and places it because he was told, don't you dare sit on the cape. It's worth more than you are. And so it actually works. Character choice. And he was like, so I love watching the show and watching him like swoop the cape as like a beautiful character move.
We turned like literally on day one. I was about to sit on the cape, and LJ was like, "Don't you fucking dare sit on that cape. That's worth more than your life." And I was like, "Right on, new character motif. That's never going to happen because I want to live." It worked out pretty well.
Speaking of the suits, like I had no idea how long the fittings were going to take. So Lamplighter wears the costume twice, but it took 2 weeks of fittings. And I've done fittings for stuff. I've done, X-Men stuff and like those fittings, and the amount of detail and care that they put into the costumes kind of blew me away.
2 weeks?
And I think they all look.
2 weeks is nothing, yeah.
Well, for 2 scenes of shooting, I was blown away. Like I flew into Toronto on a Friday and did a fitting, and then sat around for 3 days, and then did another fitting, and it was over 2 weeks. And I was kind of like, oh, I thought like this was going to be like, oh, we'll throw it on you and it'll be fine. But I thought that was cool. I mean, to me, that's what makes this show kind of stand out, is like on every level, from special effects to costuming to writing, performance, whatever. It's like every detail counts. And, I think that's kind of amazing. But I was like, oh, damn, I'm up here not even working, just hanging out for the costume, which is cool.
Jessie, you and me, we met at the fittings 6 months before we started shooting.
Wow.
Those original soup things. I remember meeting you, and your mom was there, I think. And like that was 6 months out from shooting, man. So I'm hearing you going 2 weeks. Me and Jessie.
Yeah, I guess that means nothing.
Yeah. You were like,
you guys also wear everything. I mean, that's all you wear. That's all that Homelander wears, right? Like you don't have another outfit.
Jessie, you're the same though, right?
We've seen A-Train in.
We've seen A-Train in cities one time, and it was for only one scene. But other than that, I'm in the suit almost 24/7.
Right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I know that's not
No,
comfortable.
it's okay. Sorry.
I had 2 weeks of fittings just for the Merkin that never get seen. If you
That's an important fit.
I have behind the scenes of the Merkin that would blow your mind. The amount of muff that got pitched in those. I mean, literally, it was in the suit at one point, and there was a hole. And then I was like, okay, when I said I wanted beautiful full bush, I meant like natural 70s. And they took it as a small child going down on me. And I was like, maybe this is not my first Comic-Con. Tell me if I've gone too far.
No, you're doing this right.
Never.
This is an adult program with adult language and violence, so
Absolutely. And you know what?
you can say whatever the fuck you want.
I can attest to that. I was picking those fucking things out of my teeth for weeks.
Yay.
I'm gonna keep talking. At some point, I'm putting the Merkin on screen, and we can all see what's actually happening that didn't quite make the show.
Oh my god! If you
I love this. I love this job. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. So far? What's people always ask, oh, did you always know it was going to be a success when you were making it? And I always transpose that question to, when did you realize that this show may have not only met, but may have actually exceeded expectations?
Oh.
Right then.
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Right.
That's
right
a
then.
Sesame character.
Aya, put that back up. We'll make it full screen.
Oh my god. I mean, that was what they first put on, and I was like, no, this is not what I meant.
That's revolting.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Well, it's not okay.
That's insane.
But I mean, lots of work. That's not me. That's on I mean, we did lots of fittings for the Merkin. All right, we can move on.
All right. Don't you love showbiz?
The glamour. It's the glamour. It's the glamour. It's great.
I know a lot of us were doing a panel for something else, and then in between time, Eric kind of mentioned that was it that our show had 1 billion minutes watched? Was that what he said? And I know sure you were there. I think it was 1 billion minutes watched.
I know it's.
Or was it
I know
1 million?
I'm always very cagey about because it's very strange when you're at the center of the vortex, particularly cast, but everyone on the show. It's difficult to get objective information about where things are really sitting because everyone just,
they throw out stuff all the time.
Oh my God, we're never spoken. There's never a true word spoken to us. So you got to kind of pick through and dissect the information a bit.
It's great. It's great. You're all doing great. It's wonderful. We love you.
Right. So, but there came a point that you start noticing it. I notice it when you start seeing it click on. I'm from New Zealand, so when I start seeing a little bit of generation of interest down there, and Australia, and then you see it in Europe, and that's when I got a sense. I find it very difficult to get a clear sense from the inside of the bubble.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hearing that number, I don't know. I started to calculate it. It made sense. He had aired 4 episodes already, and he was saying between those 4 episodes, the show had been viewed for 1 billion minutes. And I was trying to break that down to what that meant, like how many people would have watched the episode, and it was mind blowing for me. Welcome back, Dom.
Welcome back, Dom. Have you seen Aya's Merkin?
Wow, this is funny.
You missed a lot.
You missed just enough.
Yeah, probably. Dominique, you look better. You're oh, this is so wonderful. So let me throw this question back at you, then we'll go to our audience questions. I just asked them with all the effects, makeup, and everything else, what was the most challenging day you can recall having on the set of The Boys?
Challenging day. Let me see. I don't know. I find my costume pretty uncomfortable after a couple of hours. I've got like a corset and a bustier, and then I've got the breastplate and all that goes with it. So whenever I'm in civilian clothes, I'm pretty happy. But when I put the costume on, I always somehow either feel like an idiot or an asshole. Like there's no feelings. So I'm always trying to work with that because it's never really helpful for Queen Maeve and where she's at. So so any day in the costume. But there you go. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Absolutely fair. Well, yeah, your picture is so much better and everything's clearer now. This is wonderful. So if you guys ready, let's go ahead and pivot over to our audience questions and let's roll our first one. And this comes from Shammy, and they want to know, do you have a favorite brutal moment from the boys?
Absolutely. Mine was watching Billy Butcher take Mesmer's head into the porcelain. Until I think that was my favorite. Like the look in his eyes and the blood splattering on his face. I just thought that was like the epitome of brutality in the boys. I just loved that scene. That's my favorite moment.
I'm going to chip in with another Butcher moment when he fought Translucent and spat blood all over him so he could. I was like, that's fucking cool.
That's badass, man. That's pretty badass.
You spit blood on someone so you can see them? I haven't seen that before. That's awesome.
Mine is definitely the whale. All the way to whale. That was like horrific, and I loved it. just driving a boat into a giant creature and then having to fight your way out of the guts is pretty intense.
And just the way he was so defiant, like, this is going to stop you. Hey, wait a minute. Yeah. Hey, wait, stop.
Yeah, it was very endearing that he thought that that was going to stop anything. I loved it, though.
That's it's what?
What?
You go. I'm talking too much.
No, I was just going to say, seeing how brutal it was on the day, too. Yeah. Like, seeing the boys covered in blood with the guts and, like, the stench and that was brutal for them to shoot, but it looks so incredible.
It does, and if you want to see it again, there's a quick link to it on the Greenpeace website. They really like it.
It's a fake whale. Only kill fake animals.
Yeah, horrific.
It showed everybody what big, magnificent creatures they are. You know,
Truly, and how vulnerable they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save the whales, everybody.
Yep, I agree with that. So, Dom, any favorite brutal moments you recall, or just any moments in general?
I was just going to second the whale because that's the thing I remember the most, and it was just like this epic, like set piece. It was just like enormous, and I remember it just being like, wow, these guys are really going to town with this stuff. Like it's of the grandest proportions, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The whale scene for me and Homelander's temper tantrum fantasy about the crowd.
Yeah, that was fun. Wasn't it?
I mean, that was just as a fan of effects, that overhead shot was like, there's a lot of detail in that. It's like,
I mean, there's actually it's a difficult question to answer. So I could go to the A train running through Robin moment, and that really sets the show up, right?
Yeah,
fucking extraordinary, right? Our VFX team is just so good. Stefan and the dudes and ladies, they're just amazing. So
Jessie, your character A-Train is he's literally the equivalent of the mugger who kills Batman's parents. I mean, sets off this whole entire narrative.
Well, so you're welcome. I did that for you guys, to be honest. Yeah.
You're giving them.
My gift.
Shabby, thank you. Great question to start us off with. What is next? Here's one from Lynn. What would your character's theme song be? Hey.
Deutschland.
My character has a theme song.
Yeah.
We went for Rammstein instantly. Actually, no, you didn't, did you? No.
Oh,
But that
no,
is
I
a
went
song.
for True Hitler versus Rammstein.
Actually, no, they have a new album out called Deutschland, and that's the top song. And I think
It's not called Rammstein Nazis, though.
they've been accused of a lot. But that's a whole other conversation.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Deutschland or Wagner.
Yes.
Something like that.
But yeah, A Train has a theme song. It's called Faster, and the music video is going to be out soon. So be on the lookout for that.
That's pretty cool.
I'm going to go for Eye of the Tiger.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good.
Eye of the
Pretty
Tiger.
That's it. I don't really have a reason. It's just the song that popped into my head. So I'm going to go with that. Had a bit of a bone spot.
I can see that character growing up, seeing that movie, and loving that song, and
Yeah, either that or or of course the American national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, or something.
Oh yeah.
But with a healthy dose of Nine Inch Nails underneath it, or maybe the Nine Inch Nails rendition of it.
fair.
Like Born in the USA. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything Turbo Pro America.
I'm kind of drawing a blank for a Lamplighter song. Well, We Didn't Start the Fire, maybe, but that was used all over season 2.
Yeah.
What about something from The Doors? Hint, hint.
Oh, I like it.
Maybe
I
like
like it.
fire.
Could be. Thank you, Andy, for that one. That's a good one.
Dom, any ideas what Queen Maeve's would be?
No, I was trying to think. It was like something angry and simultaneously sad, and I don't know.
What about like Ani DeFranco, something off the Dilate album?
There you go. Yeah, yeah, that works.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, great. There you go. Lynn, thank you. Great question. What do we have next? And here's one from Lynna Pug. Which other superhero or villain outside of the boys' universe would you like to play?
Oh boy.
Can I cheat and just say Iceman? Get my turnover with?
Ooh.
Yes, you can.
Maybe we could all just say Iceman.
There you go.
But he plays the part so well.
Exactly.
I'm a big X-Men person, and I've said this before, but like I used to collect the cards and read all the comics. So basically anyone in the X-Men universe, I would be super, super excited. Like maybe I've said things like Beast or Rogue, and no, I'm not doing a gender swap on Beast. Don't come at me. But like I also I would also do like something like from like the Four Horsemen, like the Apocalypse time. I don't know. That's what I would do.
I would cast you as Lita. She was the rock. She was an ancillary character. She was the rock star, kind of like a Pat Benatar type that could teleport anewhere.
Oh, that's cool.
Talk to Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, if only I could. Who might have a? Who might?
I don't know. I saw some fan fiction thing like this mashup, and someone like placed my face over Aqualad, and I kind of like the idea of that. I think Aqualad would be pretty fun to play. I don't know how like shooting a water superhero movie would be, but that might be pretty interesting. It'd certainly be a challenge.
They rebooted Aqualad for the Young Justice animated series, and the character really kind of kicks ass now. So yes, I could absolutely see you pull it off.
All right, well
Absolutely.
let me go swimming real quick. Let me go freshen up, and then I'll see about the live action.
Trade in those running shoes for flippers.
It's a freestyle on that.
Yeah, let me talk to the deep. I'm sure he's got some extra ones.
All right. Dom, got any?
I wouldn't promote myself for any role, but I'll tell you my favorite female superhero / villain role would be, and with this actress in the role, not me, but Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman was probably my favorite. I just thought she was phenomenal. So she's cool. I would have her play Catwoman again if I could.
Yeah. Absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. So Antony.
Oh, I'll be Robin to someone's Batman. Take your pick now. I just want to be little old Robin. Little old Bob and Robin.
Well, there are stories that take place kind of in the future where Robin's grown up and he's kind of got his own identity and stuff that.
Whoa, buddy! You saying I'm too old?
No.
Man. I'm young. I can play Robin.
You can play Robin.
I can be younger.
You can.
No,
Thank you, Pug. Thank you, Pug. Great question. We'll move on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. I'll be the oldest superhero of the. I don't know who that is, but that one. How about that?
I love you as Homelander. Hey, there's one from Jenny. How many of your characters' lines were improvised? Interesting.
It was really cool. The first day I worked with Jack, we did like a walk and talk through Vought on our way up to the tower before Lamplighter kills himself. And there was like we had to walk down this huge hallway, and Jack was like, he was like, I've got a couple ideas, like, can I throw some stuff out? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So, and he's like, do you want to know? And I was like, no. So he just started us off and like had an idea every time we started this walk and talk down this hallway. And honestly, I don't think any of it made it to the show, but the fact that we were allowed to shoot it, and it really impressed me that Jack had all these ideas and was prepared to, and we were talking about like Lamplighter's video game and whatever, all this stuff that like, what wasn't on the page and honestly didn't make it, but the fact that we were allowed to take the time to shoot it was kind of cool. So it was nice. I think that's really rare on most shows to even have the freedom to be like, hey, we're going to try some stuff while we're walking and talking. So and the fact that Jack was so prepared and like had notes and had ideas was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I had a moment during that race episode that wasn't necessarily lines that were improvised, but I kind of got to the starting block, and like A-Train's supposed to be high on Compound V, and he's doing all these weird like stretches and warm-ups, and they had like nothing in mind of what they wanted me to do. So like that was all kind of like a fun improvised moment where I was like, I don't know, what if he's just like gasping for air on the ground, doing push-ups, these like really, and they like cut it into this crazy montage, but that was all like spare the moment thing that like really stood out. And the same thing like you were saying, Shawn, I was kind of happy that they let me just do whatever, and like we took the time to get a large variety of like spastic energy, and then they just cut it into something great.
Yeah.
Cool.
The show's actually I was just gonna say it's that all of this is like symptomatic of the the relationship on the show between the writing and the acting. Everyone's very respectful. I think most of that stuff, if there is any questions or additions, it gets ironed out before the day, and then they let us freewheel a little bit, but we always do what's on the page and then options if there are in cahoots with the writer always. So it's pretty free flowing. It's pretty great.
Yeah,
it feels like 90% of it is scripted, but then they let you play a little, and whether they use it or not, they definitely, you can talk to the writers beforehand and say, hey, I have this idea about a scene, can we put this in? Or they'll let you plan the day, which is very unusual. A lot of shows are really strict, and Eric has really created an environment where you get to play. Even like the storefront thing with the scene with Jessie and I on the cup was my idea. I was like, it's fun to put that in. To have, and they'll incorporate like your little things, because they basically decide best idea wins, and normally best idea is their idea, but once in a while you
So what you're saying is they let us think that we have some input. What
a great idea you had.
And then
I just thought of one thing that was my favorite. I can't remember exactly what was on the page and what wasn't, but it was the second day of shooting, and there's a character called Love Sausage. I don't remember this, like the giant tentacle penis thing, and it wraps around Mother's Milk's neck. And I'm pretty sure that Tamar was yelling like bite it, and I don't think that was in the script. And I actually don't remember if that made the episode, but like that, I was like dying laughing. I was like, I hope the camera's not on me, because that was definitely not on the page as I remember it. And that was sort of
the problem with the bite couldn't be VFX or so. I remember hearing about this, and like they were like, oh, we want to use it, but I don't think they could make the bite.
It was hysterical though. I was definitely laughing. And that was sort of my introduction. That was day 2 for me. And I was like, okay, so there's a giant penis like choking somebody out, and we're biting it, and it was pretty great.
Amazing.
Yeah, really. Look at this show. So, Dom, any moments you might have improvised, either physical or off script?
Not a whole lot, no. But I mean, I like Queen Maeve has like one or two lines. Like she doesn't have a whole lot. If there was, it was because I forgot my lines. That's just when it was something that was in my head, and that's the damn truth. So yeah, no, like for me, it was pretty much Dom. We need you to say it this way. Verbatim. Yeah.
I've gotten that note. Jenny, thank you. Great question. And a reminder to our audience, if you would like to chat with our guests like I am now or purchase a personalized autograph, please sign up at galaxycon.com and let's roll another one. Here's one for Beatrice. What character on the show is the most deserving of a spinoff?
I would say there'd be a half alcove deep somewhere. Jesus, man. That guy.
Yeah.
He could hang out with Joey from Friends, and it could be a dumb off. I don't know. I see something. That's the crossover I would watch.
Terror.
Terror. Nice.
Homelander's son. That would be a great spinoff.
Homelander's kid? Yeah. Ryan. Yeah, well,
Ryan,
who knows where that little apple's going to go away from hopefully far from the tree. But
I don't think he will.
Maybe this is biased because I just love Colby Maniffy so much, but I would watch Ashley's home life. Like, I want to see where Ashley goes and what Ashley does.
Home life?
Yeah.
I
can even see a prequel happening with Ashley. I think that would be great. Like how she got to her position at Vought, like that would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, the original comics have done several prequels about sort of the rise of that, and there's one series where they go back to the World War II years and the early days of Compound V and the World War II heroes and stuff like that. So the material's there. The material's absolutely there. So cool. Anybody else for a spinoff?
My vote is Terror. I just watch him run around and pee on stuff.
And humps
out.
That's quite a show. That's quite a pitch. Imagine pitching that.
Yeah, I mean,
run around and pee on shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's great.
There you go, Beatrice. Thank you. Fun question. What do we have next from Debbie? If you could have any superpower from a character we've seen on The Boys, what would you pick?
I like to fly.
Love sausage. No, I'm just kidding.
Love sausage and the giant merkin. Okay, there we go.
That's the most honest answer yet.
No, that's
of any of these questions.
No, that's a.
That's
knock your socks off.
I want to fly, to be honest. So any character that could fly, I would go with that. I also like teleportation. I hate travel. I hate like airports. I hate being on a plane. I hate all that. So like if I could do that myself, that'd be good. So flying or also like a teleportation kind of superpower would be cool too. And maybe A-Train, but again, we've seen the downside. You got to pay attention when you're running. You know what I mean? There's a lot of obstacles in the way.
True.
So
and be able to stop.
Yeah.
I want
buddy.
powers. I just want the. I'm kidding. Nobody wants the Deep's powers.
No.
Deep's powers.
It's the gills. You don't want the gills. You don't want that. Come on.
Oh man, looking to crayfish.
A little buddy, a built-in buddy.
Swim. We swim and we swim and we swim. Oh, Dom, got a power?
Oh, geez. The flying. Everyone keeps stealing mine. I don't know why you're doing that, guys. Yeah, the flying one. Maybe the tele. Who had the teleportation one? Did anybody?
I don't think anybody did. I just think that was my. If I could ever choose one just randomly, that's what.
I mean, that would be pretty perfect with all the traveling.
We haven't seen teleport yet, unless you count a certain character's ability to make people's heads teleport away from their bodies.
Yeah,
True.
quite
That's
the
true.
same.
Also a good one.
I'm
That
sure
would be
we'll
a
get
good
more
power
into
to
that.
have.
Yeah. Too much power. Too much power.
Yeah,
That's power.
pretty good.
Debbie, thank you. Fun question. And what do we have next from Mercerio? What was your first impression of your character? Okay, this will be fun.
God, these are some
I
good
looked at the
questions.
comics first, and I saw
Yeah.
Lamplighter smearing shit all over the walls, and I was like, ugh, okay. Like that really honestly, that freaked me out, and I was like, am I going to be like a G-string smearing poo on the walls eventually? Like that's in the comics, that's what ends up happening. So
dare to dream, man, dare to dream.
yeah, I know. I was like, I'm gonna have to get shredded to wear this G-string and make this work. So that was my first impression. And then I read the scripts and I was like, okay, I don't have to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
My first impression was more of a reflection or just a quiet thought. Like, why did they cast me? This big muscly dude, Captain America. I'm a New Zealander, like with the body of a broomstick, and it's like, why me? That's not gonna work at all. And then here we are.
Yeah.
Never trust your instincts.
That's what casting directors are for.
Parenting 101, guys. Dad of the year.
Also they're not going to cast me for rather obvious reasons. Do I even want to be cast? I mean, it was you look up this character and it's a giant dude with a Nazi flag on his back. So it was definitely, Eric and I definitely had some conversations before starting about what the intention was with that character, as opposed to just sort of, the worry was it would be glorified. So I was hesitant, but then fully in once I talked to Eric.
Yeah, again, they took Arth Ennis's brilliant comic and they took it into a television direction. They transposed it into a different medium. And that's why I always tell everybody when it comes to comic book stuff, it's like, you don't necessarily want a one-to-one transference. You want an interpretation, and it always works better in the end.
Yeah, I mean, if you actually look at the source material, a graphic novel, like you can't put that on screen. Some of it, it's filthy. So it's pretty dirty, man, and it's pretty grim, and like there's certain adjustments that just sort of you couldn't put that on TV. A lot of it, but I think like
right,
the heart and the soul and the characters and the story is there in the show. So that integrity, the fundamental integrity is there, but
yes,
definitely there's some really positive adjustments.
Yeah, and integrity is a very, very good word to call it. So,
yeah, thank you.
Really so. Dom, what was your first take on Maeve?
Maeve petrified me. She was so, like, there were aspects of her that were on the page that I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to do that, because it's so different. There was one scene, thank God, like they decided to not use it, but it was just Maeve talking about her, her adventures, her promiscuous adventures, and I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to, because I'm so introverted in real life, and she seems like such a kind of, on the page originally, and I, it scared the hell out of me. So it was just more of an interpretation, my interpretation of what I could do with it. But I thought Kripke was nuts to have cast me in it. To be honest, I was like, this is a disaster. But can't say no.
you actually rocked it out, and I look forward to seeing more of her character arc and where that character is going. Really turned out a breakout. And again, just seeing her stick it to Homelander at the end of season 2.
Yeah, that was fun.
Absolutely. Jessie, what was your thought on A-Train?
My first thoughts on A-Train are actually still pretty much my thoughts on A-Train. I thought he was like a pretentious, self-absorbed asshole who was just obsessed with his physical abilities and was willing to sacrifice his more self-respect for the greater bot just to be idolized. And that's sort of where I still see him standing even now. He's his own worst enemy, but it's his fault. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, Mauricio, thank you. Wonderful question. And GalaxyCon viewers, this has been my time with the cast of The Boys, but it absolutely does not have to be yours. If you'd like to chat with our guests like I have or purchase a personalized autograph, please head over to GalaxyCon.com. And while you're there, please check out our schedule of upcoming events just like this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an absolute delight. Any final words for our audience before we go?
Just thank you for the
Season
support.
3 is on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we appreciate the fans so much. Without you, there is no us. And we are like, well, most of us, a few of us here are really pumped about what we're doing on season 3. And thanks for your support.
Yeah. Thanks for being here for my first. Never done a con before.
Patty, thanks for hosting us too, man.
Thanks, Patty.
No problem. Thank you all for joining us today once again. So absolute pleasure to have you here at the GalaxyCon virtual stage. Hopefully someday we'll host you on our physical stages and get you back in front of your fans. In the meantime, thanks again for joining us today. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your great questions. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, bye-bye, everyone. Take care. And remember, smiles are free, so spend them often.